Welcome back, everybody. All right, so last night we saw the first of what will be two concerts of Rammstein. We're probably going to have to review the second concert once we get home tomorrow because these concerts are exhausting.
They are.
It is. It was ridiculous. It was loud. It was boisterous. It was all of the fire. It was so good. And by the end, we figured out what those pieces at the top were for.
We did.
That they light on fire. So
All the things, the purpose was because they light it on fire.
basically, yeah, if there's a part of their set you're like, what's that do? It lights on fire. That's basically what it is. So I would say of the three Rammstein concerts I've seen, and I mean seen live, that was probably my favorite of the three. Tonight we're on the opposite side of the stadium from where we were last night. And it was just fantastic. The fire, the music, the crowd, everything was just awesome. So it was her first experience. What'd you think?
First Rammstein, yeah, that was really fun. It was very fun. Very loud. I did wear noise canceling headphones because I'm awesome like that. So that helped a lot because I'd take them off for a moment. Sometimes just make sure I was being able to hear things properly. It's better with them on.
See, and for me, it's interesting because I've had concerts where I come out and my ears are ringing and I can't hear and I'm yelling all the time. I don't think I was
Yes.
yelling after last night's concert.
Not more than you normally do.
It was, and my ears weren't ringing like they have at the end of concerts. I thought it was great. The opening act was good too.
They were. I did really like them.
So it's a pair of pianists who come out and they play Rammstein songs off their cover album of Rammstein. So the only band that can open for Rammstein remains Rammstein. So that makes some sense. I think what interested me too is that they did play one song that they didn't play in the previous concert. They did the cover of Pupa, which they had not done the previous concert, which I guess was in San Antonio, Texas. But yeah, Pupa on the piano sounds fantastic.
They were really good.
So
I did really like them.
we'll see tonight if they make any change to their sets. I did record short videos. One thing is, I really enjoy the experience of the Rammstein show, so I'm not going to be that guy who's standing there recording.
It's annoying when people do that.
Yeah, I much prefer to experience things when they're happening rather than film it so I can experience it later. The one that I had to laugh about was that I think it was during Du Hast. I noticed a bunch of people had their cameras out because, of course, and they were dancing and bouncing, and I was like, those videos are going to be awful.
There was one that
you're going to be nauseated by those videos.
There was 2 seats in front of us, and I saw her like jumping and like doing this, and it was, oh, that video is going to be horrible.
The one guy though, the one guy who was I think 3 rows in front of us who did the shot all the way around,
yes.
I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So there may be a video because at the time I was singing along, so there may be a video on YouTube. Which includes me singing along because I was singing along a lot because the music's so loud that there's no way she heard me singing. So
can't hear a thing.
It was great.
I had noise canceling headphones. I couldn't hear you between songs when you were trying to talk to me.
I did kind of tear up during Deutschland when Rammstein, the song Rammstein started to play. Like I have waited since 1997 to hear that song in a concert. And it was worth it. That song is just so, and the fire for that song, like that's where it got really, really warm.
Which was nice because it was cold.
Again,
so the fire felt nice.
It was like I was really sweaty throughout most of the concert.
I was really cold.
I was still sweating up until about an hour after the concert. So again, dress light for a Rammstein concert.
And bring a jacket in case it's cold.
It is definitely a different experience.
I'm definitely bringing my jacket tonight.
But it was man, it was so good. And even what's interesting too is that the new album. I'm not a big fan of the song Zeit on the album, but man, live it kicks ass.
I like most of the songs in the new album. I've listened to it quite a few times.
So once we get home, I'm gonna have to do some Rammstein videos where I talk about their songs that are better studio than live. Which, spoiler alert, there aren't any. But there are definitely songs of theirs that are better live than the studio version. Asha Zu Asha is the most obvious example to me, but yeah, Zeit is fantastic live. That was great. And again, I'm not a huge fan of the song in general, but man, that was great.
You could listen to the new album on the way home from there.
Oh, I will be listening.
You haven't listened to it, right?
Yes, I have. Well, I've listened to it a couple of times. I listened to it when it came out on Spotify,
Right.
and then we listened to the CD all the way through in the van the one time. But yeah, it's definitely given me a new appreciation for the songs. Although to me, Zigzag still sounds like Los.
Oh,
Really sounds
yeah.
like Los
Similar.
from Riza. So it was great. Mind Tile sort of comes out of nowhere. They transitioned into Mind Tile from radio. And I was like, oh, we're doing Mind Tile. All right, cool. Because I knew Mind Tile was coming up. So I was like, okay, Till's leaving. There goes bye, Till. And Flake had already left at that point. The interesting thing, too, is that they normally have, at any Rammstein concert, they have the boat song. This one is not the same. So they just passed them from the small stage to the big stage. Till was the only one that didn't get in a boat. I always get the feeling like the guys all get together and go, hey, we've got this really fun idea. And Till goes, nope. Well, we thought it would be really fun if we all dressed up and if we had these light up things and we all dance around. And Till's like, I'm not doing that crap. You guys can do whatever you want. Because he was the only one that didn't participate in that either.
Yeah. So
Till's probably a grump, which would definitely suit his personality in interviews and what I've heard about him. He's kind of a grump. Richard and Paul. Paul's the fun one. Paul is a lot of fun. And Christoph leaning out and high-fiving the crowd while they're passing him over.
Yes.
And I thought, that's kind of dangerous that these people that are passing you up to the stage are now trying to high-five you.
They had people, I think we'll see it a lot better tonight. They had people monitoring that quite well. Because they noticed how they went directly to the stage. They didn't take any detours or anything like that.
And then the boat had started moving before Paul jumped, so I kind of like, or no, it wasn't Paul. It was it Paul that jumped when the boat was already away from the dock? It already moved away from the stage, and I'm trying to think if it was Paul or was it Oli who just dove, and I was like, holy crap! If that boat was moving faster, because his right foot, I think it was his right foot, caught on the back edge of the boat. Of course, my fear is that the boat thing will go wrong, which it has, but it's normally Flake that's in the boat. I remember an interview where Flake said he had been passed all the way to the back of the crowd and just dumped off. And I mean, the rest of the band doesn't care.
We saw the boats go straight to the stage. They just went right to where they were supposed to. So I think they have it quite well organized.
Yeah. Because the guys behind us were like, oh, that went a lot smoother than we thought. But the I think the fans, and I mean, we're in LA and there's a lot of Rammstein fans here. So if you're in Los Angeles and you're like, man, this traffic sucks and man, all this is all stupid, we're sorry, but it's us. It's the Rammstein fans. We're all here. This is the pilgrimage.
Our flight was full of Rammstein people
from
Seattle.
There's so many fans here.
The hotel's full of Rammstein.
I think people, and last night's show was sold out. I think it's understood that this is probably their last North American tour. And it's been so long since the last one that I think it's understood this is probably the last tour. And so people are understanding they get on a plane and go. And they're not hitting that many locations. Like this is the closest to home that they get. And it's not close to home for us.
No, quite a trek. If we drove, it'd be 3 days.
It'd be a while. But it's a show that I'll never forget. As I said, the rendition of Rammstein was great. Pupa was fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be nice tonight though because we've had some sleep, so that'll be.
Well, you had some sleep.
I did. You had more sleep than we had the night before though.
Yeah, I think it was.
We had 4 hours of sleep.
When was it?
Yesterday.
When did we go to bed last night?
Because we got to the hotel at 1 a.m. and then we had to get up at 6 a.m. to take our flight. So we were on no sleep. So by the end of the concert, I was having a little bit of difficulty.
We had the option of either leaving home Friday morning to get to the
5
Seattle
o'clock
airport,
at least, like at the latest.
Yeah.
That was the latest
or
possible time.
driving down late at night to Seattle and staying at a Motel
and
6.
not have to worry about morning rush hour.
And so at the Motel 6, I think we got 4 hours sleep, if that.
Yeah.
Might have been a little bit less than that. We
Yes.
got in
Wouldn't
late.
have been more.
And then we were really hungry too, so we had to have something to eat.
Yeah. Wow, we were super tired. That was really fun.
Yeah.
But
so,
better than risking.
and
rush hour traffic
tonight
through
we're not going to
Seattle
get much
and-
sleep either.
Oh no.
Because
Early flight tomorrow.
we're flying out. So even though the airport LAX is right here, so us getting to the airport is easy.
We have to be there by 7 though, so for us that's pretty early.
We'll see. Because I'm concerned because LAX has been crazy busy, and I would imagine it'll be crazy busy tomorrow. Probably with a bunch of Rammstein fans too. The merch lines were absolutely insane last night. I did not stay. We're gonna try to get there for when the gates open tonight because we want to get T-shirts. There are some really fun T-shirts. There's a bandana too that I can use as a poster / flag at home. But yeah, what a show. Just every song has, and I've talked about this in videos before on this channel. Every song is its own production, where the lighting is different, the fire, all of it is different. So it's not your standard show. And I said to her last night that it's sort of like when you go and see a play. So I always make sure I know the set list before I go, and I look up the set list over and over again. And it's because each song is its own production, and it is this really unique experience. And I say that as somebody who's been to a lot of fun concerts, but yeah, last night's was the most fun I've ever had at a concert. I was exhausted by the end of it. I was done. By the second encore, I was kind of like, okay, I'm tired. This is tiring, but absolutely worth it. They ended off with Adieu, which I'm still not a big fan of that song in general.
Like it.
It's just some of their slower songs I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, but in general, it just that experience. So we were on the Richard side last night. We're on the Paul side tonight. Because the one thing too with Rammstein that shows that they're kind of a different experience is everybody has their spot on the stage. Everybody has their own spot, and they never deviate. And that goes back to '96. The oldest concert I've seen of them in '96. Each person had their own spot to stand, and that's before Du Hast came out. So they definitely have a setup. And even when it was the intimate small groups of people watching them in '96 right through till now, they have not deviated from it. The show's just gotten bigger. And this show absolutely just ridiculous. I can't imagine the amount of time it takes to do that setup and the number of people needed.
Yes.
For that setup to take place. And there is about a 20-minute split between the end of the opening act and the start of the Rammstein set, which is different. When I've seen their other shows, which were indoor shows, there was no separation. So the opening act would finish and it goes right into Rammstein. So I'm guessing because there's so much that needs to be tested and there's so much work that needs to be done, they haven't been able to do that. But since tonight is the second show in the same location, I wonder if they'll spend as much time on that or not. I'm guessing yes, because Till is very much a man of...
They started exactly on time.
Yeah.
The opening act started exactly at 7.
7 o'clock.
And they started like right after 8.
8:05 is their start time.
Yeah.
And it was 8:06 when their production began. And it goes for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Now, I have to say, being in LA Coliseum, it is a huge stadium, but they have a warning that just in case there's an emergency, here's your emergency exits. But the warning basically insinuates that people in the building are stupid. That if there's an emergency, don't climb up to the top of the stadium. And I'm thinking, why? Like, let's just say, there's just a little shaker, nothing major, just a little. Why, in the event that I feel the ground moving, would I think? I think I need to be higher up. So if this building has some kind of an integrity problem, I want to be as high up as possible. That was weird. And the other weird part was that they gave this warning before there was 10% of the people in the building.
Yeah, I didn't even hear it.
So the arena gives out this warning, and it was mostly empty at the time. So I thought, so most of the people did not hear that warning. If it's that important, maybe do it while people are here. I can't imagine going to work and hearing, yeah, we had a safety meeting before you guys got here. Oh, that's good. That's good. You guys went over all the safety procedures? Good. Yeah, you don't want your staff to know. That was an odd part. But yeah, it was a pretty strong crowd, singing along, knew the words pretty well. Yeah, Mind Tile, that's my jam, that's my song, that's my happy place. That song is just great. Shauna was the amount of fire from that song. And then the Screamers with Du Hast. That is so fun. There's just so many things that they do that, and it's weird, you would think that if a band's done a similar act or same act for decades, they play the same songs for decades, and they use a lot of the same pyrotechnics, or just slightly upgraded, you would think that would get kind of boring. It really doesn't. It is still absolutely sensational. The crowd went nuts when Sensuk started. That seemed to be a really popular song. Agreed. I know you were happy when Do Re So Good got going. That's a very good song too. And they still do the walk and the head banging at each other, which is great because they've done that same motion and that same thing since the late 90s. Yeah, absolutely great, and can't recommend it enough. The problem is that this is towards the end of the American leg of the tour, so if you didn't see it, you didn't see it. But we've seen it, and it's absolutely great. So if you're and European fans already know how good they are. They have no problem selling out arenas and stadiums in Europe. I don't know why North America has been a little slow on the uptake in comparison. I know they sing in German, but there's so much fire. So even if you don't know what's going on, there's all kinds of fire. Which is kind of why they do that. Because they understand people don't necessarily understand the lyrics and all that, but fire. So, and a lot of smoke,
smoke and
the amount of confetti.
I could smell it. Oh my gosh, the confetti! It looked like a swarm of locusts.
The amount of confetti. The amount of confetti. And I've been at their concerts before, but I've never seen confetti like that.
That was a lot of confetti.
Where they were firing it out of the stage, I'm like, that seems like a lot. And then all of a sudden they were firing it out of the middle of it too. And I was like, all right. So during Puppa, they fired out all the black confetti, and then during the P word. During the P word song, the white confetti goes.
People are so greedy. If you don't know Rammstein songs, you're going to guess wrong, I think.
And then I wasn't sure if it was confetti that was being shot. I'm like, is that soap too?
Right. I was trying to figure that out as well.
Because I was like, man, that soap staying in the air for a while. Is it soap? And no, it was confetti. I'm mildly disappointed. And although I would say that if they were firing soap everywhere, that'd be awful to have to clean up.
Did you see, after Puppa, in the back on the floor, could you see all of the black all over? There were people that started sweeping. They weren't done with confetti. And I just, you have no idea.
Nope.
Don't clean it now. And it was on top of the tents down there. So I wonder if today we'll see confetti on top of those tents down there.
I'm thinking they were probably there all night cleaning up.
Would you use a leaf blower to get it off of those tents?
Got to use something. If they needed a leaf blower, we've got neighbors with leaf blowers.
We're nowhere near.
Just saying. We know people with leaf blowers, air compressors, pressure washers. Yeah, everything. And they'll need that in this stadium, but absolutely love the show.
Confetti for months.
Absolutely love the show. I'm glad we got some confetti as well, because I know when we went to the
Kept
show,
hitting me in my face and going in my glasses.
yeah, it kept hitting her, and I couldn't grab it.
It was all hitting.
None of it was
hitting
sticking
my
to me.
face.
None of it was sticking to me, and I couldn't grab any of it either, and it just kept hitting her. And I was like, all right, well, she's got it. She's got it under control. But it is a show like no other. This is the beginning of our concert season, because we're seeing
There are
Trivium.
so many shows.
We're seeing Trivium next week, and then you've got Everclear.
Everclear.
You may be seeing Offspring as well.
Yeah, we've got 3
and
days
we've
grace.
got 3 days grace. So yeah, it's going to be a busy couple of months. The one thing is the 3 days grace concert. It's a very busy night in the NHL that night too. So,
but it's 3 days grace. So.
I'm going to the 3 days grace concert, and that night it's just going to be a late night for the hockey review. And I would apologize, but this is the Entertainment Guy channel, so to heck with it. I'll apologize when we get to that date on the hockey channel, because it's a busy night. It's on a Tuesday.
You'll just say sorry. It's 3 days grace, and I love my wife.
And we got those tickets like a year ago for 3 days grace.
It was a while ago.
It was
You
definitely
got
a while
them,
ago.
as soon as they were out.
Yeah. And a lot of concerts got pushed back. So there's so many concerts touring right now.
Yeah.
But Rammstein is a can't miss. In my eyes, they're a can't miss. I know that next spring, they're doing a European stadium tour. But I really think this is going to be the end of the North American tours. The rumor is that they're probably going to retire next year. And they're getting to that age, right? I can't imagine the amount of energy it takes for them now. Because, I mean, their set was 2 hours and 15 minutes. So their set, their part of the show was over 2 hours. And while there's little breaks there along the way,
Not much.
it really isn't much. Comparatively speaking with, like, Marilyn
Manson.
Manson.
To other band, Tool.
See, I've never seen Tool in concert, so...
Well, you know how they can take any song and make it like
20 minutes.
45 minutes long.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
they're able to make it really, really long so that different band members can go off for like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And they do.
No, I think with Rammstein, I think it's just bathroom breaks, have a quick drink, and get right back on the stage.
Yeah.
And costume changes, because they do
Some of
get
the
changed.
costume changes, it looks like they just put it on over their clothes.
Richard
like
does.
Those jumpsuits and the
Richard
the
with
thing
the
that-
jacket,
Yeah.
the ridiculous jacket.
Yes, yes. I saw him. He had 2 different things that went over, and they had the glow in the dark stick things.
And then it's funny
and
too,
flakes.
because
That just
Richard
goes over too.
Richard and Paul did this guitar thing, and then they kissed after. I thought it was funny. So they've played for a long time together, so no big deal. It's just 2 men kissing each other and laughing it off. But it was just, what an amazing experience, that concert. Just I'm excited about tonight. I'm a little better rested today than I was yesterday. Just a little. I woke up at 6 this morning with a headache.
Because we didn't drink enough liquids yesterday at all.
Yeah. I generally avoid drinking liquids within 4 hours of something we're going to, whether it's a hockey game or a concert, because I want to make sure I'm not going to need a washroom break during the concert or during a hockey game. And so last night, because we were late coming in, I really didn't have anything to drink
We weren't
yesterday.
actually late coming in. Oh, you mean into... No, we weren't late coming in anywhere. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, comparatively speaking, with how much time we had left for the concert, because of when we came in, I was already in that window of, all right, well, I can't have a bunch to drink now.
Oh.
And I'm not going to have a bunch to drink on the plane either.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. You don't drink before the plane or on the plane.
no, I really try to avoid washrooms on planes
Right,
if I can.
right.
It's for your own mental well-being and your own physical health. You do your best to avoid airplane bathrooms.
They're so tiny.
They're tiny, and they
It's big.
they have the smell of whatever soap they have in there and whatever else they're using to cover up scents that are in that bathroom, and just so I'm looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be a really fun show, and I'll be doing more videos and photos, and then I'll probably upload little snippets to the channel. But it will only be snippets. It's not going to be the entire show. I'm not doing that because I can't. I cannot stand still and not experience the show. And I don't think you can record an entire concert and not experience it. I think if you're recording the entire show, it's because you're going to put it on YouTube and you're looking for view counts. I don't think it's because, I mean, you could be doing it because you really love the band, you want to remember it forever, but then experience it. And if you're not dancing, you're not headbanging, you're not, really feeling the music because you're having to hold your phone steady, well, I question how much you're really experiencing the concert. I mean, if it's a concert where it's a band just standing still and not doing much of anything, some boring hack of a band that doesn't even use fire, then I can kind of understand it. But yeah, with Rammstein, it's just something different. It's something completely different. So there you go, guys. Rammstein, absolutely amazing concert experience. Loved it. Loved every minute of it, and I know she did too. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And what was your favorite song they performed last night?
Oh gosh. Well, I really liked Mine Heard Sprint, but that's one of my favorite songs.
They almost shorted that one too.
I know, and I was really nervous when they cut it off at the very beginning of the chorus.
The crowd sang Mine Heard Sprint
before.
And Till gave the crowd the finger, and I'm like, oh no.
They stopped.
Oh no.
And I know they've done that with songs
They did it with Rammstein, and I would have cried if I'd been at the concert where they did it with the song Rammstein.
There was a moment there that I was nervous. And there was the guys behind us that swore as soon as they did that too. So they had the same thought of, oh no, they wouldn't. But they didn't. It
was a great show. Absolutely fantastic, flawless. Can't say enough good things. And so if you haven't experienced the show, and you have a chance to, I recommend it. All right. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.